What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we have my first ever massive unboxing. As you can see, we have a bunch of boxes here. I think we have about 7 to 8 aircrafts from all different types of brands. Without further ado, let's get straight into the unboxing. We're going to start off with this box right here, and then we'll move on to the other ones. Okay, from our first box, this is from RM Models. We have the Southwest 737-700 by Panda Models. We do not have one, but we do have 2 of these aircrafts, as I do need them for my Denver airport. So we will get straight into the unboxing of these aircrafts. Okay, starting off with the box, I do really love the box design on this particular Panda Models aircraft. You do have the tail of the 737 all over the entire box. Then you have the registration at the bottom right, which is N963WN, and as you can see, it is 1/400 scale. Now here's the computer generated aircraft. You can see right there outlined in white. I am very glad I was able to pick up this model because I will be using it for Denver. You can see down here, it's just the computer generated aircraft as well as the registration right here. And then right here it says Boeing on the side as well as part of the tail. And then this is the same as the opposing side. So let's get straight into the unboxing. Alright, time to see what this aircraft is all about. I did hear many good things about it, so we will see. Hopefully it is not broken. Take that off, and then take the aircraft out of its box. My first impressions of this model is I really do love the color. The winglets, the split scimitars look great, but there is a few little things that I would fix about the model. The winglets are a little bit off. The horizontal stabilizers are a little pointed up, but that doesn't bother me at all. One thing on camera, the blue looks really light compared to how it is actually. Like, this is really dark. It's the same as this color back here. I don't know why it's so light right here. But without further ado, let's get straight into the review. Starting off towards the front of the Southwest aircraft, you have your nose cone right here. Then you have your cockpit windows, which is outlined in a nice silver coating. And then moving down to the bottom, you do have your first landing gear as well as the landing gear kind of hatchet thing. Then you have your first door, which is your L1 boarding door, and then right next to it you do have the Southwest heart. Moving further along, you do have your Southwest logo. As I did mention earlier, this blue right here is much darker in person than it is on camera. I'm not quite sure why, but it definitely is. Now moving on to the engines, I'll zoom in. Whoops. Forgot my camera can't comprehend zooming in. Moving on to the engine here, you can see it says southwest.com on the engine. And then you do have your overwing exit doors on both sides, as well as your antenna up here. Then you have your Wi-Fi dome or Wi-Fi receiver, whatever you'd like to call it, up there. Now moving on to the winglets, I do really like the design of the split scimitar. It is representative of the actual aircraft because you do have the dark gray or light gray down here, and then your actual Southwest colors up here. Moving back towards the tail of the aircraft, you have your registration, which is N963WN. Then you have a American flag over here. I do really like the colors on the tail. They are very well designed. The colors look just like the Gemini Jets version, and the horizontal stabilizers towards the back here, I'll zoom out, are metal, which is something the Gemini Jets used to not do, which was not a good thing. So that does conclude the Southwest 737-700. I do really love this aircraft, and I'm so happy I was able to pick up 2 of these. Moving along to our next box here, I did already open it because I don't want you guys to get bored of me opening a box because nobody wants to watch people open boxes all day. But we'll move on to our next aircraft. Our next aircraft is the Southwest 737-700, which is in the California 1 livery. This box design is absolutely astonishing. That purple Boeing logo looks absolutely amazing. So we'll get straight into the box, and then we'll get on to the model. Right here you do have your Boeing logo, and then 1/400 scale down at the bottom. And then moving over to the side, you do have the Boeing logo once again with a purple stripe at the bottom. And then moving right along, you do have the Boeing logo once again, but this time it says Boeing 737-700 1/400 scale, Southwest Airlines with the registration and the computer generated aircraft right there. Then this says Boeing once again, and then this is the same as the other side. So let's get straight into the unboxing. I do like the texture of this box. It's a nice black matte kind of color and texture. Take the top off there, and then there is the aircraft. Let me adjust the camera. Okay, so take off the plastic sheet, put that off to the side, and then here is the aircraft. Ironically, I am very happy to be expanding on my Southwest collection. I did just get 3 more models, and that will help my Denver look awesome. My first impressions of this aircraft is that I absolutely love all the detail with the star and then the bear and it's all the grass and stuff. I do really love the design of the California 1 aircraft, and I do believe this is made by Panda Models as well, but it was an exclusive with a certain company, which is what the Southwest 737-700 in the Heart livery was too. So let's get straight into this aircraft. We will start off towards the front where you have the star. So right here you have your nose cone, nothing new about that. I do love the way they did the cockpit. It was a little bit different than the way Panda Models or the other one did it. But then down here you do have your first landing gear as well as your landing gear hatchet. And then you do have your heart logo right there. And then moving further along, you have your L1 boarding door as well as the star around it, which is pretty typical in California. As I did mention, this is in the California 1 livery. And then moving further along, you do have your bear as well as the antenna up here and the 2 overwing exits on both sides. You can see that the bear goes all the way down to the engine. I'll try to focus on the engine really quick. There, you can see that. And then way down there you can see the main landing gear or the back landing gear. Then up top there you have your Wi-Fi dome or Wi-Fi box. And then your winglets, of course, on all of Southwest specials, it is just the gray typical winglet. Now moving back, we have the registration right there. It's pretty hard to see, but it is N943WN, which is pretty similar to the other one that we just unboxed. Moving further along, you do have your back door back here. Then the American flag and the Southwest logo right here. As per usual on all of Southwest special aircrafts, you do have this very neatly designed tail. I do like it. It's the blue, red, and then the yellow / orangish at the top. But then one thing I did want to point out is that the red goes all the way from the landing gear all the way up to the horizontal stabilizers, which once again are metal. So I really do like that. That does conclude the unboxing of the Southwest 737-700 in the California 1 livery. Alright, here is our third box of the unboxing. Ironically, this box is huge for the aircraft's inside, or aircraft. This box is from Easy Toys, and let's get straight into the unboxing. So, as I did mention, this box was way too big for what was actually in it, because the only thing that was in it was the Delta Connection Bombardier CRJ 900. My first impressions of this aircraft is I actually really do love the design. As I did mention, the landing gear is not my favorite. I'm glad I did buy this model, and I'm also glad I did not buy the American CRJ 900 because that had way too many problems that I did not want to deal with. I do like this Delta CRJ 900. And mainly I bought this just because it's a CRJ 900 and Gemini Jets hasn't released that in like, what, 14 years or something like that? 7 years? I don't know. A long time. But I will also be able to use these in a few of my Denver updates as well as my Colorado Springs. Alright, we will start off with the nose cone here. Let me just zoom in a little bit further. I do like that it's focusing. Up front we have the nose cone and then your cockpit windows as typical of every model. Then you have your L1 boarding door up here, which would go down and then you'd load the passengers on. I'm sure many of you know how the regional aircraft do work. Then you have your first landing gear and the landing gear hatchet, and then moving right along you have your Delta Airlines logo. And then it says the Connection down below because obviously Delta Airlines regional brand is Delta Connection. Moving further down you do have two, what are they called? That are two hatchets which would be used to put on the baggage for the aircraft. And then moving down a little further you do have your two overwing exits on both sides. So total there's about 6 emergency exits on this aircraft. I do like the wings. They are very well proportioned and they are not too high. You can see it does have a lot of detail on the wings. I also do really like the winglets. Really my only problem with this model is the landing gear is just terrible. But you do have your typical all blue winglet. And then moving back you have the American flag as well as the registration, which I think is N821SK. And then you do have, it's kind of hard to see, but behind the engine right there you have another cargo or another baggage hatchet. There's a better view of it. You can see, let me focus on it back there, you can see it. And then you do have your two fin type things that come standard on every CRJ 900. I do really like the engines. I think they are very well proportioned. They might be a bit high, but that could just be me. And then moving on to the tail, you do have the Delta Airlines logo and the two horizontal stabilizers and the silver APU towards the back. Really quick, I wanted to show the bottom of the aircraft. It's not really anything special, but the landing gear, I just want to show that one more time. The landing gear, this one's actually supposed to be on the wing as well as this one, but they put it over the wheel well, which I'm not sure how realistic that was supposed to be, but that was a failure. Then here is your first landing gear, which is pretty hard to see. And then you have your hole for the stand. So this is definitely a great model and I'm happy I purchased it. Alright, moving on to our fourth and final box for today's unboxing. We do have the Gemini Jets United CRJ 200. I actually did purchase 3 of these. but only one came in this order. And then you do have the Frontier A321. I actually already did a review of both of these aircrafts, but I did purchase more of them. Obviously, I purchased one more of these and 2 or 3 more of these. So let's get straight into the unboxing of these 2 aircrafts. Okay, starting off with the Gemini Jets box. I'm not going to go too in depth. Obviously, all the boxes are the same boring thing except for the Southwest boxes. Here you have the Gemini Jets logo as well as the computer generated aircraft. Then it says Airbus A321, and then you have your Frontier logo. Then this says 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft. Here's the look inside tab. It gives you some information about the aircraft, and then here is the aircraft. I'm just going to get straight into the unboxing because I know you guys don't want to see any more about the same Gemini Jets box as all the other ones. And then inside there you do take off the plastic sheets, and then there you have the aircraft. I actually have heard a lot of good things about this model, and I did like my other one because it is not as bad as the previous A321s we've had, because the engines have been way too big on all the other ones. My first impressions of the aircraft is that I'm very happy that Gemini Jets is actually doing Frontier aircrafts, as it's been forever since they've actually released a Frontier aircraft. The last one I think we got was Champ the Bronco A321 Neo, or A320 Neo, excuse me, and that was quite a bit ago. So let's get straight into the review. We will start off with the front of the aircraft. Okay, up here you have your nose cone as typical, and then your cockpit windows. Then you have your L1 boarding door, and then this is in the Steve the Eagle livery. Then down below you have your first landing gear, as I said, L1 boarding door. It is a little bit weird. I'm not sure if this is how it is on the actual aircraft, but the antenna is right here. But I don't know, that's weird because it's like that's right where the cockpit is. I don't know, just kind of weird for me. One thing that Gemini Jets actually did good compared to a bunch of other model companies that have released Frontier aircraft such as Aero Classics is that the green line underneath the Frontier logo stops at the N and then skips the wing and goes over. That's actually how it is on the real aircraft, but Aero Classics and a few other just go all the way across because they're too lazy to do the detail, which I get it. It's hard, I guess. But anyway, here is the Frontier logo. You can see it actually does look like a really dark green on this aircraft, but it's actually not as bad in person. But as you can see, the Frontier logo. Then you have your L2 door, which is not primarily used for boarding. It's more of an emergency exit. And then you have the TIER, and then you get back to all the economy seats, because this is pretty much all economy except for the first like 5 windows, which are the stretch seats, which I am excited to try out in August. You can see the engines are still way too big, but I'm not complaining because it's not as bad as it used to be, frankly. They used to be like watermelons. I mean, I don't know. And then down here you have your main landing gear. Then moving straight along to the winglets, it's just a all blue color, but they do actually show the animal on the inside of the winglet, which is very nice. Moving right along to our third emergency exit, and then moving all the way back, it says flyfrontier.com, and then it finishes the blue stripe at the bottom. Then we have the registration, which I can't even read. Let me actually zoom in on it. It is N709FR. Then you have your American flag and your final door. You do also have 2 antennas on top, and then we will move on to the tail. This is in the Steve the Eagle livery. You can see that they did a pretty good job of it, other than at the tippy top. It's a little smudged with the gray paint. But other than that, I really do like it. You have the rest of the Eagle, then your metal horizontal stabilizers, as well as the APU towards the back. And as typical on a A321, actually pretty much on a 737 too, is the very pointy APU. That does conclude the Frontier Airbus A321, so we'll be moving on to the CRJ 200 now. Moving right along to our Gemini Jets CRJ 200 by United. This is in the new liveries. You can see the Gemini Jets logo. I'm not going to go too in depth in this box because all the Gemini Jets boxes are the same. But here are some facts about the aircraft, and then there is the aircraft inside. So let's try to get this open without breaking the entire box. And then we will take that off, take the plastic sheet off, and then here is the aircraft inside. Alright, my first impressions of this aircraft is I like everything except for the winglets. Because the winglets, if you look at a CRJ 200, are very squared off at the top. But these winglets are like pointy at the top, which isn't a huge concern, but they could have easily made it squared off. Which I do not appreciate them doing that because they charged like $45 for this model, which was really ridiculous. But we'll start off with the front of the aircraft, which is the nose cone right here. Then you have your cockpit windows and your small, tiny, little, super small landing gear at the bottom. And then you have your door, which, as I did mention on the Delta CRJ 900, does fold down and then you board onto the aircraft. Then right here you have the United Express logo. As per their old livery, you still have the United in the blue, then the Express in the lighter gray. Then, as they did bring or introduce on the Dreamliner and the 737 MAX, is the blue swoop line type of thing going across the entire aircraft all the way back to the tail. And then you have your overwing exit right here. And then moving further along, you have your registration, which is N246PS. And then you have your American flag. I'm actually not sure how this aircraft is dusty considering I just opened it, but okay. Then you have your dark blue engines with the kind of darker gray cone that comes out of the back. Typical on all regional aircrafts, even like the 717 and the MD-80, MD-90. And then you have your tail, which is the Evo blue, which I really do like. At first, a ton of people hated the new livery CRJ 200, but I think it's great. Then you have your typical horizontal stabilizers at the top of the aircraft. That does conclude my first massive unboxing on this channel. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, please consider leaving a like on the video as well as subscribing to the channel if you are new, as it does really help support me and motivate me to make these types of videos. A little bit of news about my Denver airport. I am thrilled because I can use all of these models on that airport, and it's just going to look phenomenal once it is all done and complete, which I am hoping it'll be done early September, maybe late September, early October, or something around that time frame. Maybe if I'm lucky, early August. But it will take quite a bit to paint all of the boards and all that stuff and get the design out. But I do have a good design and plan of what I want to do, and I will probably be showing that off in a few videos, and it'll be an awesome video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Goodbye.